G'day, welcome back to the channel, the Radiomaster. Radiomaster T15 Max. Is it the last radio you'll ever need? Is it the end game for radios? Is it the must-have? Will all the cool kids on the block have this radio? Should you care? Well, I'm here to tell you things that no one else is going to tell you. YouTube is covered, littered, filled with reviews on the Radiomaster T15 Max, and to be honest, looks like a damn good radio. Not going to knock it, looks like a damn good radio. Do I have one? No, I don't. Do I care? No, I don't. I'm a bit busy, as you might have noticed, to do a lot of reviews, but I just wanted to have a bit of a chat with you now because I'm going to tell you something that none of the other reviewers will tell you. And for good reason. I'm not going to knock them for it, but I'm just going to tell you what you need to know. You don't need new radio. Ask yourself, really seriously, ask yourself, do you need a new radio? I'm pretty sure most of the people who are watching this video already have a radio, or two, or three, or four, or more, because we've been collecting radios of late because they've all been pretty damn good and they're not too expensive. When I started back in the day, it cost me, well, the equivalent of over $1,000 for a radio. Long wire it was too, not that flash, but it cost me a lot of money. These days, radios are a commodity. You can pick up a cheap radio for $100, and even the really good ones are a couple $100. So it's only natural that people will buy more than one. You need a spare. What if you drop one or drive over it with the car or something, or the girlfriend steals it? These are why you need spare radios. And of course, every radio that comes out has got new feature, new must-have feature. It might be, in the case of the Radiomaster TX15 Max, it might be the sticks with LED bezels. Woo! How can you live without those? So, but you've got to ask yourself, now, times are tough. There's a lot of call on your disposable income. You know, you've got bills to pay, you've got people to feed, you've got, energy costs. It's all going up. It's all going up. And so, what do you do with your money? Do you spend it on a new radio, or do you pay your bills? A lot of people, that is the decision they're faced with. They don't have a choice. It's not as if they've got thousands of dollars to spend. Oh, let's buy another radio because I've got some room in the shed. No, it's not how it works. But I'm here to tell you that the new, for all its strengths and wonderful things that I've seen people talking about, the new Radiomaster TX15 Max, it's not going to make you more attractive to women. It's not going to improve your flying. It's not going to have make your dog happy. It's a radio. It's a great radio by the look of it. But ask yourself, do I need another one? And I'm not knocking Radiomaster or any of the other radio manufacturers because they're sending out lots of review samples to people. Anyone that'll put a review up, follow the little cheat sheet, which is how it works these days, and pitch. Because a lot of reviews, well, YouTube's changed since I started. When I started, I reviewed products honestly and objectively, and I wasn't out to make money. I was out to tell you how to spend your money more wisely. And that's still my objective. I'm not here to get rich, and that's a plan that's working really well. Not getting rich at all. But I want people to be able to spend their money wisely. So I've tried over the years to tell you what's good and what's not so good. These days, there's a lot of people who are pseudo salesmen. It's just the way, I'm not knocking it, it's just the way things have gone. A lot of people out there, they'll take all the free stuff they can get. They'll show it to you. They'll demonstrate the features and the foibles and all the bits and pieces, and they'll work, to tell you this is a great radio. And that's why we get every new radio is the best radio ever till the next one. And you can generally tell if a review is a pure review or maybe it's partly a sales pitch by looking at the description. So it amazes me. Sometimes I look at the description of a video and it's like 4 or 5 pages of affiliate links. What does that tell me? I don't know. It may be a perfectly valid, perfectly objective, perfectly sane review, but when I see all these affiliate links, I'm aware there is a commercial imperative, a financial imperative for whoever's making that review to earn money from those links. I don't do that. There's never been affiliate links in any of my reviews or other videos, never been sponsors, never been mid-roll ads, because this isn't something I do it to make a living, but I temper that expectation with the prime directive, which is to make sure I'm giving you honest and objective advice. Now, I'm not saying other reviewers aren't doing that. There's plenty who are. And I'm not even knocking the killer headlines or the killer titles that I'm seeing because it's just a fact of life on YouTube. You've got to use a clickbaity, draw you in title or people will just skip over your video. There's so much content on YouTube. You have to grab people by the short and curlies and drag them in or you don't get the views. So I'm not knocking anybody for anything. And life must be tough for RC manufacturers because we've had peak drone, it's been and gone. Most of the people who wanted to buy a radio have already got one, so it's a pretty hard sell to convince them that That radio you bought 6 months ago that we said was the best ever, well, this is the best ever now, so you should just put that aside, just buy this one instead. No, I've got radios here that I've had, I've got an original Tyrannus for goodness sake, and it still works, and I still use it. Doesn't mean there aren't better radios, because there are many better radios, and most of the modern radios are pretty damn good. They're very good. It's hard to knock them. So all I'm saying is, just before you rush out and buy a radio because someone put a YouTube video up and said you must have this, or you won't be in with the cool kids, just stop and take an objective think about, is it the best use of your money? And if it is, and if you want it, or should I say, if you need it, buy it. If you want it, buy it. But if you don't need it, if you don't want it, don't buy it. It's simple stuff. It's elementary stuff. But these days, you just got to think carefully. But as I say, radio manufacturers, it's hard for them to make a buck these days because everything's getting cheaper, so that the actual dollars they make on a sale is smaller. And the market's getting saturated. Everyone's got a radio, and there's not a lot of new people coming into the hobby, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. It's just the facts of life. We've got a lot of problems with regulation, over-regulation, as you'll know if you watch my Extra channel. And we've also got public perception. You know, drones are being vilified in the media. The narrative is strong. And unfortunately, the hobby's not pushing back hard enough. I push back as hard as I can, but I'm one person. And no matter how hard I push, there's a lot more people pushing the other way. And so radio manufacturers have a really uphill job trying to keep the cash flowing in the door. That's why they keep making these new models. And because they're having to make a new model so frequently and convince you to buy it, the changes tend to be quite incremental. There's nothing, huge between versions of radios. It's usually just something small. Yeah, okay, we've had the dual band. That's interesting, but does anyone need dual band? I would wager that less than 1% of people flying need dual band radios. Nice to have. If you've got the money and you can afford it, why not? But if you've already got a radio that's single band and it's working quite nicely, do you need to spend the money to go to dual band? Are you going to get any real return on your investment? Questions you have to ask yourself. So that's why I'm here, just the voice of the elephant in the room. I'm just pointing out the elephant in the room. Nobody needs a new radio if you've already got one. The one you've got is still going to work just fine, despite the fact that if you went on YouTube today, you would have thought your radio was so out of date, you might as well set fire to it. There you go. And just to make sure I'm not pissing anyone off, Radiomaster, Jumper, most of the manufacturers, really great. Radiomaster's treated me really well. Jumper's treated me really well. I use Radiomaster radios. I use Jumper radios. I use TBS Tango 2. And I still use Free Sky radios. They're all good. They all work. Just choose the one that's best for the job and you'll be happy. And don't feel you have to upgrade every time a new radio comes out, because it's just not really necessary. In fact, it may be a pain in the ass, to be honest, because I've got quite a few drones with ELRS, and ELRS is the latest thing. You've got to have ELRS, more range, lower latency. All the cool kids have got ELRS radios. And the problem is, if you've got a whole squadron, a whole fleet of craft set up with ELRS, and you might be running version 2 point something because you did it a while ago and you've been happy and you hadn't felt like there's no need to reflash and upgrade if it's working. If it works, don't fix the damn thing. Then if you buy a new radio and it's on ELRS 3 point something, you've got a big job ahead of you to reflash all those receivers to make sure they're compatible with the new radio. And that can bring with it a whole bucket of hurt. I see on Facebook and in other forums all the time people saying, I just tried to reflash my receiver and now it's bricked, it doesn't work or whatever. ELRS is not bulletproof, despite what we would like to think. It's not totally bulletproof. And I've just been doing a video on long wire, which will be coming out fairly soon, looking back, 20, 30, 40 years in the hobby, what we, back in the olden days, had to fly with. And you might think, oh, long wire, how primitive is that? But I've got to tell you one thing that just, it smacked my gob. My gob was totally smacked. And that is how simple long wire is to use. You plug the servos into the receiver, you plug the battery into the receiver, you turn it on, you turn on the transmitter, and it just works. There's no binding phrases, there's no making sure software versions are compatible. It just works. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. So that'll be a bit of an eye-opener for those of you who came into RC after long wire was a thing. If you've never seen long wire, you might find it fascinating. We'll do some range tests and we'll do some fail-safe tests and all sorts of things, and you'll be surprised how, in some areas, how competent long wire was, but how weak it is in other areas. It should be an interesting, entertaining and eye-opening video. But anyway, that's it. That's all I've got to say in this video. If there is, if I haven't been reviewing stuff because I've been incredibly busy with other things, and also there hasn't been anything that's really made me go, wow, that's impressive, I need to review that, because there are already armies of people out there doing the reviews and the sales pitches and all that sort of stuff. So you're getting plenty of information from these people. You know, I want to try, when I have the time, I'll focus on things where I think you need to know the honest, actual, true facts without a cheat sheet from the manufacturer, and without, without me thinking, oh, I better say nice words or I won't get more free stuff, because that's not how I work either. Anyway, that's it. If you've got comments, go down there. If you're thinking that you don't need a new radio, then say so. I say, this is the elephant in the room. No one talks about this. And reviewers won't say it because they want you to go and click on the affiliate link in their description, because it's part of what they need to stay on YouTube. And that's fair enough. That's just the way the platform works these days. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.